we do first want to get you to that infamous video showing a 2-year-old in Indonesia puffing away on cigarettes. It is obviously disturbing, but we also wanted to know what the real story was behind that video. CBS News national correspondent Jeff Glor joins us this morning with the details. Hey, Jeff.
Erica, good morning again. Our crew spent 2 days with that boy and his family, and it turns out, yes, that video is very real. It began with an internet clip that went viral. Shocking video of a 2-year-old Indonesian boy chain smoking. A CBS News team traveled to the Indonesian island of Sumatra in search of that boy. And just before midnight, our crew found 2-year-old Aldi Suganda in the quiet fishing village of Musi Banwasin, a lit cigarette in hand. At home, Aldi plays with toys and grips a bottle, but his tiny hands can also light a cigarette with the familiarity of a seasoned smoker. His parents, Rizal and Diana, say he started smoking at just 11 months old during daily trips to the market where they sell fish.
He was being very fussy when we were there to sell, so we just let him play by himself. One day we followed him and found him hanging out at a cigarette stall. He had a cigarette in his hand, already lit. He already knew how to do it very well, like an adult. It was actually his own wish.
Before long, Aldi was smoking more than 40 cigarettes a day. In fact, Aldi's mother says he often uses one cigarette to light up the next. But in Indonesia, Aldi may not be such a surprising case. Smoking is ingrained in the country's culture, the third largest tobacco consumer in the world. 1/3 of the population smokes, including many children.
Over 31% of Indonesian children smoke a cigarette before the age of 10. Over 80% of Indonesians who smoke start as teenagers or younger. The reason is because the Indonesian government has completely failed to educate its public and has allowed the tobacco industry to engage in marketing practices that haven't been permitted in the United States for years.
Nearly 170 nations have signed the World Health Organization's tobacco treaty calling for anti-smoking measures. But the Indonesian Ministry of Health has not conformed. Since Aldi, more videos have surfaced online of babies blowing smoke rings. Aldi is now in a government-sponsored rehabilitation program, but a smoke-free future is still uncertain. Aldi shows signs of severe addiction. His parents say he throws tantrums, hits his head on the floor, and becomes sick from withdrawal when he can't smoke.
A child who's smoking many cigarettes a day can absolutely be addicted to nicotine. So it's not easy for him to stop smoking just cold turkey. If he can really quit smoking, he will definitely be a very healthy boy. But now I don't know what will happen in the future. This boy's lungs are still developing, so anything that's going to damage his lung tissue is going to damage it permanently, and it's really going to decrease his total lung function later on for his entire life. Nowadays, he smokes 1 pack a day, 2 packs at most. We surely hope he will quit, that he will be like any other kid, not smoking. But I can't stand seeing him hurting himself. What can we do but accept it as it is?
Just this morning, we got some new information from the Indonesian Ministry of Health saying Indonesia is prepared to exceed and ratify the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. But the Minister of Health is asking for patience while they determine the best way to implement its provision, they say. Erica.
It's interesting, though, that they do have these programs to help people stop smoking, just not necessarily prevention measures. But in terms of Aldi, so we know he's in this program to help him. Overall, though, how is he?
So he's working with this local health officer now in Indonesia, kind of like a nurse midwife. He's been checked out. He doesn't have any diseases, but his family says they now understand the dangers and what might happen if he keeps smoking.
So they're hopefully going to try to help him.
They are,
stop.
Yes. And the government there says they do acknowledge it as an epidemic. They mostly blame advertising and promotions from the tobacco industry.
Well, there are reportedly some advertising
There's
uses
clearly,
that have not been seen in many countries for probably decades at this point.
There's clearly a lot of it over there. The question is, can you get rid of it? Do they want to get rid of it? We'll see.
Wow. Still, it's just so disturbing. Jeff, thanks.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.